Nau mai e hoa mā ki Kupu Tupu, ko Jermaine Reihana tōku ingoa. Welcome everybody to Kupu Tupu. Today we have a few guests with us. We have Johnson, Kiwi Scully, te whanaunga.
Kia ora.
And we also have Natalie Rojas.
Kia ora.
So our kupu for today is whakapapa. No, it's not. It's kaupapa. It's kaupapa. So our kupu for today is kaupapa. Kaupapa in this context, relating to sort of what I guess what motivates us and what gives us purpose in the things that we do. If we're to look even further into kaupapa Māori, kaupapa Māori being a Māori agenda, a Māori topic, a project, but more so, I guess, a Māori ideology with a sort of philosophical understanding of skills, practices, customary practices, knowledge that relates to Māori society. And I guess what I want to put to our manuhiri, our guests today, is how have we experienced kaupapa Māori in our own mahi, our own work. So that's the pātai, or the question that I put to you, Natalie, today. So yeah, if you could speak to that.
O tēnā koutou katoa, ko Natalie Rojas Ahau, and I work here at the Depot as a gallery coordinator. And when I was presented with this wero to talk about kaupapa, especially this week when it's Te Wiki o Reo Māori, I was super excited, and the first thing I thought about kaupapa for me is a very special word, because it kind of reflects that Maori worldview where things are like the things that we do are actually connected spiritually with that purpose. So I think it's a very popular word. I think people use it quite a lot out there, but the main thing when you think about it, or for me, is that there is no English word that actually means that, or that we can use to explain what it is. So it's basically, for me, is about, is kind of that spiritual part of principles that guide our actions and kind of the foundation for doing what we do. And obviously, I'm not from New Zealand. I've been here only 7 years. I'm a Kiwi now, but I was born in Colombia. And I've experienced in my role kaupapa Māori in a lot of different ways. So a very recent example would be one of our Māori artists coming to exhibit at the gallery, and I was kind of really privileged to see that whole process of her coming into the space and installing this exhibition and sharing it with the world from kind of that Maori perspective. So things that were very different and that I saw at that time were that, for example, she wasn't installing this exhibition on her own. She was her whānau were here with her, and they also had different roles, like the mom was doing karakia, and the brother was singing waiata as this exhibition was coming to life, kind of giving, I don't know, celebrating that or bringing those ancestors and kind of giving the mana to the work as well. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's a good example of how kind of that Maori philosophy informs something that is happening and kind of is the foundation for action.
Absolutely. So it's you would say it's a very sort of holistical approach to the mahi.
Yes.
That you saw?
Yes, and it could be different to other exhibitions that we've run, where, you know, we are very kind of pragmatic and we're like, object list what is there, and like you come in this day and you have 2 hours to set up, whereas this is like a process that is kind of involve the whole whānau, and not just for the install, but like when the exhibition opens and when all of the events that happen after, it's like the whānau are involved, and even when the exhibition is coming down, it's a similar process, and you know, Kai is involved as well. Like this exhibition particularly was dealing with the theme of death, so we had to talk about the tikanga around it, and like, can we have food now or should we wait until later? So there were really interesting questions and processes that took place alongside it, and that I think that relate to Kaupapa and Kaupapa Māori.
Absolutely. I think when we sort of break down the kupu and we sort of isolate these kupu to gain a better understanding of, you know, well, the structure of the kupu itself. I mean, we look at ko, and ko can mean the sort of sole purpose, and then you look at papa, which is like the floor or the foundation, or even our matriarch, Papa Tuanuku. So in essence, I guess it's a purpose that is heavily ingrained in what you're doing and how you actively participate in making it happen. And I'm just reflecting on someone that who was really quite significant to our community, who had just recently passed away. This man was, you know, listening to all the kōrero was really awesome. But I guess I understand this man to be someone who was very kaupapa driven. I mean, he supported he supported so many different kaupapa, whether it be basketball or kapahaka or wakaama. He wasn't necessarily skilled in these types of activities, but his tautoko, his support for these kaupapa was unmatched. And that was something that was really, sort of the topic of discussion during this tangi. And I think for most people, we are all trying to find our purpose in life. Sorry to go into the deeper meaningfuls, but everyone's trying to find their purpose in life.
So would kaupapa it's like the foundations of any kind of area of expertise, could you say?
Aye, absolutely.
So like that groundwork, so it's from its initial conception, say like basketball, you know, to you go from there, and it has the set rules, but then the rules developed over time.
Yeah, true.
And then like now they're like dunking, and they're having to like create like the 3-point line further away. There was never a 3-point line in the past, but with kaupapa, does it tend to? Do you think it like grows as you like? Has it got potential for growth? Or is it kind of, no, we must stick to this kaupapa?
Yeah, true, yes.
Or is it...
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of interesting ways. I mean, a kaupapa can be quite organic in its inception, I suppose, with the intention of, I guess, achieving a sort of a collective, a collective understanding of each other, and the sort of the different kinds of practices that involve in making that happen. So yeah, I mean, I want to be able to, you know, flip this kōrero to you, Johnson, and sort of, you know, probe into the many kaupapa that you've been involved with.
So I do have a question, because I got a little bit confused. Is kaupapa, because somewhere I read that, so my understanding is like kau would be the spiritual, papa is like the land. So does
absolutely.
it relate to kind of the connection of the individual with the whānau and the kind of the community and the land and is that intersection between, does it have to be kind of a group of principles of a group or of could be like just my own kaupapa?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where you find it's sort of, I guess it's sort of agile and dynamic nature, in that, you know, one person could enact a kaupapa. I'm just thinking of the hikoi, I whina kupa. You know, there was one woman that was very empowered and inspired to do all she could for her people and the whenua. And it's that spiritual engagement, that sort of visceral feeling that that was really quite, I would like to think was quite empowering for her and set her off on that journey, on that kaupapa, essentially. And then as people became inspired by her mahi, then it gradually sort of, you know, brought an entire community together, an entire people together. So, yeah, that's a really interesting question, and I absolutely support and feel quite comfortable with that explanation of the kupu.
Because like what you said, Natalie, like the spiritual part, you know, although I was talking about basketball, it's not really spiritual.
No.
You know what I mean?
It can be for some people.
But
But like even for her, I think in the case you were talking about, her ancestors would be kind of, it's not just her alone. She's here because of her ancestors, and she's got this kaupapa that is kind of for the people. So it's kind of it's not a very individualistic concept. It's like
true.
She's there also for the communal as well.
Ai tika. So back to the pātai at hand, Johnson. Are there any current sort of kaupapa that you're involved with? Even, well, because I know you have a lot of ties to your whānau that are situated in Rotorua, and you have whānau and friends in Wellington. So what are the sort of the kaupapa that you can speak to?
So, I guess like the kaupapa of say. Like getting welcomed on and being a speaker. I've always had this kind of question about the kaupapa. Because there was one time I went to Parihaka and I had to speak on behalf. And I thought, I'll just do a mihi, you know. But what I found was that I hadn't acknowledged the ancestors of the whare.
Ooh.
And I hadn't acknowledged the whare.
Right.
But you know, like kaupapa is sometimes like with the Māori kaupapa, there's no like instructions, right? You're just supposed to know. You're supposed to know. If you don't know, then you get told off. You know. So you know, but I guess just the whole tradition of kaupapa Māori is living in like this modern world, and you know going to work and making money and you know like just living in this world. You know, I tend to forget those key components, but those key components are like actually like they might seem small, but they're actually huge in the spiritual sense.
Absolutely.
So with kaupapa, it's just the link from, you know, formal customs is like actually it's not just culture, it's like spiritual as well. And then skipping those steps is kind of like missing like bits of the kaupapa. So so that was kind of like I felt like quite whakamā about it. Like definitely. But I know now.
Tika.
so
Yeah.
not forget these kaupapa.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, a very, very stern learning curve that one would have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, I think if we have if we have a greater awareness about the kaupapa at hand, and that our intent is genuine, and this is why we say patua te whakamau, just rid yourself of that sort of, I guess, that nervousness, and that sort of shamefulness that we tend to experience, and do it with the understanding that you are standing, within your own mana, in your own mauri, and accepting that, it might not work out the right way, but if your intent is true, then I think that gets at the sort of the crux of how the sentiment can really guide us, essentially, in doing so. So, kaupapa is seen in many different forms, and facets, and I guess I want to shoot this part of our kōrero back to you, Natalie. Are there any sort of with the kōrero that we've had today, any sort of reflections or...
well, there was a part of what Johnson was saying before about, those little things. And I think we live in a world that, everything is moving so fast, and those things might be like, okay, it was just a little thing. But like going back to the example of the gallery and this artist that came, we welcome here for her exhibition. I think it would have been easy to say, oh, carry on, get on with your thing, and kind of not leave a space for that kaupapa. And I think it's really important, as you were saying, to be aware of kind of how of the spiritual side, and how much it informs what us as New Zealanders are doing in every area, not just the arts, but like in basketball, in sports, in education, and how it's important that we keep learning about these words and about what it means, so that we really make a space for this kaupapa and for the people for who is so important to kind of just live in that way, and embrace that way of living, because at the end, Kaupapa Māori is, I think, a way of living, a way of studying, a way of making research, a way of making knowledge based on the past, but like also looking at the future. So I think it's just a really important kaupapa.
It's quite interesting, like how you said, "Oh no, we got to move along." But in Māori culture, like
there's no concept of time.
No, there isn't. It's just it's spiritual. It's not a physical thing. Because physical is quite like determined by time, but spiritual is kind of like But growing up with, I wasn't fully immersed in Māori culture growing up. It was just tangis or family gatherings. Otherwise, that's the only amount of education on kaupapa that was received. But there's aspects that actually can help in other areas apart from, say, the marae and that, like the one with the art gallery, acknowledging that it's more than just a process, that it's encompassing a lot more, and acknowledgement is like a big thing. I feel I guess in the Western sense, like, you acknowledge by saying, "Oh, I was inspired by this artist, you know, whereas like with Māori, like, or, you know, maybe not just Māori, like there's a sense of like the ancestors or those that have come before. So and so I guess like and I don't know, I'll go back to the basketball example, like just because I like basketball. Cool. You're like, oh, yo, Michael Jordan inspired me. Well, I didn't make it to the NBA, but that's all good, you know. You know, so not all of us can be like a great artist, but we can be inspired and carry on their kaupapa. That's how I feel anyway about like kaupapa.
Tēnā koe. No reire, Huama, ko whakatakotoria tēnei puna kōrero hei whakaroaro mo tātou. Thank you everybody for joining us. This is Kupu Tupu. No hora mai. Tēnā koe.